You know, I mean, his last fight was ridiculous. I can't believe people haven't even exposed it for the fake fight that it was.
What do you mean?
Well, it was a paid sparring match. I mean, the guy that he fought works as his security. The guy tapped out to forearm strikes, and it was a paid fight. Both guys, he works for Mariusz. He's Mariusz's security. And they sparred against each other for 2 rounds, and the guy quit. It was almost laughable.
Suggesting that it was a bot fight, that he threw the fight intentionally?
I'm not saying that he threw the fight intentionally. I'm saying it was a fake fight. It was 2 friends sparring. That's why you saw Mariusz out there being so relaxed and calm, because he knew the outcome of the whole fight. That guy I know for a fact, and I've seen that guy in England with him in Wembley Arena, because he's his security guard. They train together every day.
Tyberiusz Kowalczyk, the strong man.
The ex-strong man, yes. It's laughable. I can't believe no one even sees it. It's like, watch the fight again and tell me that's not a sparring match. Not one of them tried to hurt each other properly. That's why Mariusz was throwing low kicks, because he didn't want to punch the guy in the face. And when the guy tapped out, it wasn't tapping out to elbows. He tapped out to the weakest forearm strikes I've ever seen in my life. The guy was just fatigued and tired. It was a sparring match. And they put it in front of 60,000 people in Poland. And now just trying to build Mariusz up because he got beat up his last few fights. Now, okay, let's give him an easy fight. Let's feel we can't have him on in the biggest stadium in 60,000 people in Poland without Mariusz. So we have to have Mariusz. Let's build him up. Let's give him an easy one of his. And they had a sparring match. It was ridiculous. And now people are thinking that Mariusz is some great fighter that's not scared of being punched anymore. He's still scared of he was scared of getting punched off of his friend. I've never seen a guy flinch that much in my life.
Well, I mean, there is at least one fight I think we can say, and it's a very hard thing to do in fighting, to say that, like, hey, this one was fixed or whatever. But the Bob Sapp fight,
not if you're a professional fighter and you've been watching fights your whole life and had over 200 yourself, you can spot a fake fight at a million miles away.
But the Bob Sapp fight, you have to admit, I mean, that one, I mean, without question, was fixed. I mean, I had Bob Sapp on the show myself, and he freely admits.
Well, Bob Sapp, well known for fixing fights, right? Bob's buyable. He doesn't want to fight no more. I mean, back in the day, back in the late 1990s, when Bob was doing K1, he actually was hungry to fight, and he was putting on fights. And then in the early 2000s, things started to change for Bob. His bubble got burst. As soon as you touch Bob on the belly, he would fall over, right, and rant around like a little baby. But the problem is, and this is what has happened to Mariusz, and this is what's going to happen to Mariusz, is that all these, like, Bob Sapp is a humongous, huge fella, right? You've met him, huge, right?
Yeah.
Now, growth hormone is a very powerful drug. Do you know about growth hormone?
Right.
Do you know what growth hormone does to your body?
It just turns you into a monster, yeah?
Well, it makes everything grow, right? Not only does your muscles get bigger, but I've known fighters that are athletes, strong men that have taken growth hormone, that they've actually gone up a foot size. So their hands get bigger, their feet get bigger, they can get larger. Their bellies is what's really known for getting large. You see those big pot belly that they have, like on growth hormone? Mm-hmm. And it's full of abs. It looks like a big. But what that is that's their organs inside growing. Their liver, their spleen, their kidneys all growing inside their body because of all the growth hormone they've taken. So when you touch one of them on the belly, you're actually touching a liver that's usually bigger or larger than the average person's liver, right? So the consequences of them going down is far superior than that. Now look at Mariusz Pudzianowski's belly and tell me he hasn't abused growth hormone for years, and tell me that every time you touch him on the body, he doesn't wet himself.